often said, and rightly so, that cities don't rape women, the people who live in these cities do. But for most of us who've lived in India, have always felt, believed that maybe Mumbai skipped to a different beat. That maybe collectively the people of this city gave this city a character which gave its women a little more respect than other cities did. But somewhere down the line, that belief stands shattered today as one after the other there are sex crimes in this very city. The latest being the Shakti Mill gang rape case. So what's gone wrong in this particular city? What is it that has gone wrong that suddenly Bindas Bombay today is Mumbai shame? We're going to try and get some answers, find some answers right on this broadcast that we are giving to our viewers from Mumbai in Maximum City, Maximum Outrage. We have a panel with us at this point of time. Noted ad filmmaker and Mumbaiker Prahlad Kakkar is joining us today. He joins us in the capacity of a Mumbaiker. We have with us Abha Singh, noted lawyer, civil rights activist. Rita Gupta is with us. She is the head of the women's wing from the MNS. We have A.D. Singh with us. He is a designer. We have Mr. A.A. Khan. He is a former IPS officer, former Joint CP Mumbai ATS chief, former ATS chief. We also have with us Ms. Nirmala Sawant Prabhawalkar, former mayor of Mumbai, and today she is a member of the NCW. We also have an August House with us at this point of time, citizens of Mumbai who don't believe, who don't want to say that their city is safer than Delhi, Lucknow or Chennai. They want a safe city and they don't have one right now. So what is it that's going wrong? I throw the question to Mr. Kakkar, who's joining us. Prahlad, you've been here. You've seen the city grow. Have you seen the constant fall of this city in the years? Or do you think it's something just suddenly come up and there's been a spate of sex crimes?
No, the city itself has deteriorated because of the decay in the city. But more than the decay of the city, which is a physical thing, is the decay of the quality of life and the kind of attitude that the people of Mumbai have suddenly had, which is they're not afraid of either the uniform or the law or of anybody, and everybody is willing to take the law into their own hands on a short-term basis without worrying about the consequences, because the rate of conviction in this city, especially in terms of its track record, is abysmally low.
Mr. A. Khan, I'd like to put this question to you before we throw this question out to our audience here. You've seen the law and order in this city. Yeah. What is it that's suddenly gone wrong? Because I have statistics here, Mr. A. Khan, which will shock us. It's a 100% rise in the numbers of offences reported in the first 4 months of this year. We've seen in the year 2013, first 4 months, a rape every day. There's clearly something which is going wrong because the numbers are saying so.
Yes, deterioration is the standard of policing. Very frankly, don't tell me that the local police wouldn't have known what was going on in Shakti Mill compound, sale of drugs, Gundaism, all that. But it's been overlooked. There is so much of interference in the functioning of the police by the politicians that the policing has absolutely sunk to its lowest level, what I've seen in my life. I've never seen such poor policing as in this city. Because of that, no one is bothered, whether it's your auto rickshaw driver or it's your rapist or it's your criminal pocket picker on the railways. They're just not bothered about the police. They are not even scared of assaulting the police. We have come to that stage. And unless we shake up, the public really does something about it. We tell our elected representatives that you stop meddling with the police. If you assault the police in the assembly, your own MLAs assault the police in the assembly, and you get away with it, what is the kind of message that is going down to the people?
We're going to come to that. Mr. Khan, we're going to come to that later on how maybe, there's been this politics of opportunism which is played in this city and which has overtaken the culture of the city. But, for the audience here, we're not talking about the cliche of Mumbai versus Delhi, Mumbai versus any other city. We're talking about Mumbai versus Bombay. Some of you have seen both, I'm sure. We have that young lady out there. She wanted to pose a question to Mr. Prahlad Kakkar. What is it that you've seen? Did you see over the last 10 years there's something going wrong in the city that you've lived in?
When I was shifting here, the first question that my parents obviously asked, is it a safe city for you to move and make a life alone? And obviously the question was yes, since it is Bombay. Now, since I've shifted here, a lot of people have been saying that, Bombay is not the same how it used to be in the past 7 years. Now, my question is, why do you think that change has come about, in this whole Bombay to Mumbai? Why has this change in the mentality of its people? How has it come?
It's come because, as I said, the implication of the interference in the policing of the city by the politicians has actually deteriorated the quality of policing. Because nobody's sure, you cross a politician, you turn around and arrest a politician's son, and you get posted out. So nobody's willing to do anything. As a cop, as a guy in uniform, I would actually think twice about taking action against somebody, because God alone knows who he is. At least in Delhi, you guys are what you call honest and say, "Pata hai mera baap kaun hai?" Here, nobody says that, But pata nahi kaun hoga uska baap. Then what happens? Now, the point is that other than that, the fact is that the leadership of the police itself has deteriorated, because they themselves have taken a bad step. They've started politicking among themselves for promotions, for lobbying with politicians, because they're the ones who decide who does what. And everybody is now lobbying. Now, if they're so busy lobbying, who the hell is going to give leadership to the beat cop?
Mild term, lobbying, I would call it bargaining.
Yes, well, whatever, the polite word is lobbying. But you see what's happened today to the police force in this city, which was, in my opinion, among the best in the world when I first moved there.
There are a lot of people, Prahlad, who have felt that. There are a lot of people who have felt that. We have a band of photojournalists here who today have only come in solidarity because there's a 22-year-old fellow colleague who has suffered. And these two young women, I just want to ask you this question. And you too, I'm sure you've had interns, right? As your career has gone forward, you've had interns. And without, batting an eyelid, I'm sure you would have told them, go shoot in the mills, go get me some pictures. How was this news for you?
First of all, I would not just simply tell her that, because every time we have a girl who works with us,
right,
and she works out of Thane. So every time I send her out on an assignment, first I tell her, don't be too late, don't take too many risks, because it's not just about getting pictures, it's just about saving you have to work for the next day.
Did you think something like this would happen?
I don't know. I never dreamt of it.
In broad daylight.
But Prahlad, should it be about broad daylight?
It's not, in Mumbai, I've never dreamt about it.
No, but you are also, by telling her that, you're telling her that we are actually preparing ourselves against these atrocities.
No, but we have to be careful,
No. The point is, the city should be prepared in such a way that we don't have these things. The defensive, if today we have a shoot like it happens in Viscon, that means you're telling everybody should start wearing bulletproof jackets and move around the
absolutely
city?
not.
The thing is that should not
the moment we
exist.
get out of our office, out of our house, we are carrying equipment worth lakhs of rupees.
Yeah.
Okay, and it is not.
I believe
easy.
one thing.
I understand. You've got to be safe. That is what the gentleman is trying to say. You've got to be safe, and ultimately your safety lies in your own hand. The authorities.
The things have come to that there is no proper policing. You have to be careful.
But that does not mean that.
Would you go out on the streets? Would you go out on the streets
I would.
today?
The reason why I'm a journalist is because I want to be out on the streets and I want to, I want people to know what the stories are. And as a woman photojournalist, I do not want to be in a disadvantage. As a freelancer, I do not want my editor thinking, but she's a woman, let's not give her the story, because then what am I doing?
And that's what brings me to our next topic.
Do you carry any form of self-defense? Do you carry mace?
I have a pepper spray.
You have a pepper spray.
But till the time I can take it out and even realize I'm being attacked, it's done.
But I must say, what happened right now in the city is something very bad, because it was a masterminded plan. What I heard was that these guys actually went up to the journalist and her friend and said that we are investigating a murder.
It was a redux of what happened in Delhi. Let's just keep it at that. It was exactly what that.
But they said that there are police and we are investigating a murder. So it was a completely masterminded. So they were not drug addicts. They were neither people who were...
They were drug addicts and criminals.
But they actually masterminded the entire story.
And they were allowed to walk free.
And they are from the same area, staying nearby that place only, in that slums. I think
exactly.
They masterminded the theory.
We're going to come down to that policing fact, Mr. A. Khan, because if the police is so sure that it knows every nook and corner of Mumbai, how is it that Shakti Mills, which is infamous, I believe, I'm not from Delhi, I'm not from Mumbai, but I believe infamous for drug addicts, how come nobody ever went there? And they were allowed to fester.
I'll tell you one thing.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Your slums have been protected by politicians. That's why the slum dwellers feel that they can do what they feel like. Today, who votes in Bombay? The slum dwellers vote in Bombay. Have you ever gone and voted in Mumbai? I don't think you ever done that. The slum dwellers go like cattle at the behest of their politician. That's why the politicians have allowed the slums to come up. The moment the police goes in the slums to arrest somebody.
In fact, they've got people in that area so that they get the number of majority.
It is, if they are allowed to commit crimes, that is where the vote bank lies.
Slums are actually quite safe because they're very, very careful about the reputation of the slum they live in. And it is very close.
I don't think you've been to too many slums.
From the ones that I've been on assignment, at least, and most of us agree out here, they are very careful about it. So,
no, it's not that. You see, the point is that firstly, they're illegal. Okay? Now, how come they're illegal and nobody bothers to evict them or take action against them? It's because they're vote banks. Okay? And they're vote banks, and they're 100% vote banks. It's not that one or two you left out. All of them are registered. All of them make sure that they vote because that is their survival.
You know, Pranav, I'd want to quote a tweet which we just got right now. I would want to quote a tweet right at the beginning of this show, and we're talking about politics. There's somebody who just tweeted in Bombay, and I think it's rather relevant, and we will come to you, Ms. Rita Gupta, on this. And the tweet says, there is something rotten in the city of Mumbai, and it reeks of politics of opportunism.
Yes.
So I think nobody could have put it better at this point of time. You know, there's a question I would like to pose as somebody, as a journalist. I'd like to pose to you, Ms. Gupta. Mr. Raj Thackeray, in the bravado of it all, came out and said, we will throw bangles at the Home Minister's house. As a woman, I feel degraded.
I don't think he insulted a woman anywhere. See, there's always a saying ki if you can't do anything, wear bangles and sit at home. This is a saying. So when the person sitting on the chair, he can't do his job. If I have a list from January 2013,
but Ms. Gupta, it is these analogies which have done this city in. If our politicians will keep making these analogies, this young girl
wants to say something. It's not the thing, but they have not done anything. He has not done anything.
Madam, how would throwing a bangle to anyone's house would cure the situation?
No, it won't cure. The thing
so it is outrageous that you ask a man कि जाओ आप कमजोरी दिखाना चाहते हो किसी बंदे की.
It is not like that. We were asking him to leave that seat.
No, it is. We didn't. It is outrageous, madam. You cannot compare a woman to being very weak. We are really strong.
I'm not saying he's not insulted a woman.
What does it mean? Okay, you tell us. Okay, one second.
Crime is happening against women. It shows women.
Yeah, you are actually reflecting the result.
I think you all are taking it in the wrong way.
Okay, ma'am, let's give it to you. You tell us what.
I'm saying he has not insulted a woman. He was the first person when in Azad Maidan, the lady police was being raped. Raj Thackeray was the first person to take the morcha till there.
Of it all, you and I both know what goes down.
No, I'm not saying.
Let's explain this point of view. A girl, a 22-year-old gets gang raped in this city.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Kakkar said, broad daylight. 22-year-old gets gang raped.
Yes.
Your party chief goes on record to say we will throw bangles. What does bangles mean? They're not flowers, they're not bouquets.
Again, you're misprinting that thing. He said
am I only
if he's not capable to do that work, he should.
Why women are not capable of doing some work?
Madam, Abha, you would want to come in?
See, no. Don't misunderstand the thing. I say, let us forget the bangles, but the Deputy Chief Minister has been highly inefficient. He has not been able to control the crime of the city.
There
have been no transfers. All the police officers are waiting for their posting.
What has he done?
4 months the city has been in a limbo. No police commissioner has taken up. So, you know, the thing is this, that R.R. Patil has brought this state to such a bad, pathetic condition.
I'd like to quote Mr. R.R. Patil. Now that we are quoting our politicians, of course, there was a gem, and I have to say it was a gem from Mr. Raj Thackeray, but there was one from our Home Minister of Maharashtra who went on record to say that if you have an assignment tomorrow, I'd like to ask you this question. If you have an assignment tomorrow and the place is sensitive, please take a police escort.
See, all the time I can't be hanging around with the police, you know, because if I'm shooting something and I know like it's probably that's something against a police department, I can have a police behind me because he knows what am I shooting.
Patil goes around with 40 policemen, so he thinks everyone can do the same thing.
I would also want to ask that if I am a surgeon, tomorrow I have to go for a late night surgery. Do I go and ask for, I go to the police station and say कि मेरी surgery है, sir, please.
Sir, please
मेरे को escort करो.
What we are saying, this Mumbai city has become unsafe because of all these things.
I agree to it.
See, I'm from a political party. I'm not sitting there. I'm a woman.
Each one of them. There's a hall of fame which I have with me right now, right here. Each one of them. BJP corporator Ms. Tawde has said that ban lingerie causes sexual assault.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you something. This is very valuable, I think. If like Ganpati is coming, I'm staying in Juhu, which is next to the beach, and the biggest resurgence happen. On a normal day of traffic, it takes me 35 minutes to reach home. But on the peak day of 11th day Visarjan, it takes me 3 minutes. So I asked one of the cops, like, how's this? He's like, bandobast bahut acha hai. So if the bandobast can be done so well on that day, why isn't the bandobast of the city done so well on all the days? The point is, you know what he told me? He told me because most of our people are actually securing politicians,
We're going to come to that. We're going to come to that later on. We are going to come to that because there's been 1,000.
If they need security, they should hire it and pay for it.
Adi, we're going to come to that because there's been 1,000-fold. The latest RTI, which has the information has come out, 1,184% jump in deployment for VIP since 2007 till 2012. But let's stick to the point where you're talking about politics of it all. And ma'am, I'd like to ask you a question. The question I pose to you is, you're a member of NCW. You've been a former mayor of this city. How is that for 3 years that this state does not have a president for a women's commission? There is no body which it can call as women's commission.
I think that today we have gathered here to discuss about the present case.
Ma'am, the present case
I will connect that with the present case also, but let me ask that because I met the victim, I wanted to convey what was important, because the other things which are equally important, what the audiences and the participants are answering, that is important. But what I meant to say that I am born and brought up in this city. मेरा जन्म यहाँ पे हुआ है. I have seen this city. I love this city. So I also feel very bad that something like this happens. That it puts what has happened.
It will happen.
It has happened. Like whatever has happened is something which is horrible, which has never happened, and definitely it puts a question mark in my mind also. But what I mean to say that things are really changing. What I have seen as my childhood, I have seen, we have interacted with the cops, we have seen Mumbai riots, we have seen people rising under the severe attacks of, so many things. But what I mean to say that let us not lose the hope, and let's not generalize the thing that Mumbai is so much in danger and law and order situation. Of course, politicians will speak because their own motives.
But the fact remains, but the fact the politics.
See, but politicians, now that you're here, because you said you met every right to criticize. Politicians have every right to woo the voters that look, abhi inko rakho aur humko chun ke lao. That is okay. But let us be very serious. What needs to be done? What solution can be done? But people are more bothered how to see that the women are safe. And that is one
issue. Problem is not solved that the state commission is without a chairman. In spite of the CM being given a notice, he said he would put someone. When the Palghar girls were arrested, we gave a notice. I personally gave a notice to the chief minister that we are going to prosecute you. And after that also, it has not come. This shows the apathetic approach of the politicians and the bureaucrats towards women in this state.
Abha is making a point which you can't deny, ma'am. 3 years is a long time.
Abha is making point. Even I am making that point.
But you are sitting, your party is in power. You are sitting in the National Commission for Women. Why? You are the persons who can make a difference. We are only going to the court. We are making a noise.
I am making my point louder than what Abha, because Abha has recently joined this fair. I have been there for last 25-30 years, and I have spoken very openly to the Chief Minister. I have openly spoken to all our leaders that see to it that the State Commission is formed, because State Commission chairperson and the members are at least a face to talk to. From my side, whatever I need to do, we have done it, and I don't know, please ask them.
You admit, ma'am, being a part of the ruling party, you admit that your party has failed Mumbai in this account.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. Why should I? No, it's not a question that it's you see, there are number of reasons. If a thing happens, it has multiple aspects to look at. एक बार इस बोल के खत्म करना, political people will say कि politicians are to be blamed. What we have to see, what citizens feel. From citizens' point of view, how we... Yes, that's what I said. From their point of view, let us work together and see to it. Yes, of course.
This young girl has...
I heard her. I heard her. I completely... Yes.
Ma'am, before she speaks, I'd like to know, how would you specify? Let's work together and do what? How do we work together and what do we...
No, I'll tell you.
You know, we'd like to get down to specifics.
For that, see, when then you have to go into details of
it. Why, just one sentence. Tell her how do we work together and
The
how do
police
we
have
do
to
it.
make you the police have to be very sensitized. First of all, this is a patriarchal society. The male domination. Even cops like that, they are also male dominated. They don't see anything. This one. If a rapist is there, if a woman goes, they say that आप वो कहाँ करने को क्यों गई थी? Like all sorts of questions are asked. The implementation also. Implementation also. We need to have very strong policing. They should not ask all sorts of questions like this. No, let me make it very clear. Let me make, because you might not have understood me properly. What I meant to say that a police should fully agree with the girl. They should see that a woman is a victim and she should be given proper support, a proper investigation.
We women,
which is actually
after the fact.
How do you prevent rape?
How safe are we women? How safe are we?
After the rape is committed.
Yes. One second.
You know, in between your talk, you said that आप वहाँ करने को क्या गई थी?
ऐसे पुलिस गलत पूछते हैं.
The point is
that is what we're saying. Police is wrong.
No, he asked me another question. He did not ask me about this. He asked me specifically. He joined the equally ambitious. He asked me. He asked me another general question. He asked me another general question.
Madam,
आपको साथ में मिलना मतलब क्या करना है? The police have to be very sensitive.
I want to ask one question to you. You have said that we have to work with the police, and police
I didn't say that we have to. I said as a citizen we have to see
as a
that
citizen
the women
only I am telling
are
that,
safe,
madam.
and it is the political people who are towing the line and all that.
Madam,
that is not going to solve the problems. If you want to solve the problem,
in that context only, I want to ask you. Yesterday only, I have faced one crime against me. That is one a drug addict fellow tried to throw that some liquid on me when I tried to get down him from the train. I was in the middle ladies compartment at CST station.
And you dragged him. And
yeah,
you dragged him
yeah,
to the
I
police.
dragged him, and anyhow I managed to took him to the RPF. Where I saw very, very bad
experience.
Bad experience.
Yes, absolutely.
You are telling that you go and tell the police and they will react.
I am not saying.
I'm not the thing. The way they have reacted.
What I am saying that police are insensitive, and all the time we say
that person who did not take up the duty should have been suspended. What action has been taken
immediately? Even after filing an FIR, that head of the police over there, Mr. Deshmukh, asked me, what you are expecting from me?
That is what exactly I said. That this
we're going to talk about.
That is what he has to do. That is
what he has to do. He don't know.
That is why we
how
have
he
to
can
talk
ask
about
such question to the
exactly.
His time is only going.
He don't know his duty. What he has to do. How he can ask me my
That's what Mr. Khan, we have been always telling that police are so insensitive. They are not bothered about. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're trying to escape from the fact. Why has this attitude come? I've worked in the police. I was in the Indian Police Service for 35 years. I've been where I've gone for a riot, and the moment I got down, the two parties ran away in different directions. That's the kind of fear.
Today, women don't have any confidence in the police that their FIR will be
why they are losing the confidence when the lady like me.
Do you think you have to crack the whip like Mr. Dhoble did? Is that what we need?
I agree.
Is that what we need? Because otherwise he says, leave me out and have a not.
We need a commissioner like Mr. Romero, who did it with fairness, who was a giant of a man, and the police were led because he protected them from the politicians. He fought with the politicians to keep his force non-politicized.
Yes.
Which is why the morale
we
of the
need police reform. We need police reform.
We're going to come back. We're going to go into a quick break. I will leave the last word with these young girls before we go into a quick break, and all of you. There are a lot of cities in this country where women in general feel scared to approach the police. Do you feel scared, like you said?
Definitely, madam.
Do you feel scared?
Definitely.
And Nirmala ji, you were talking about today or yesterday, I believe you went and met this young 22-year-old brave girl who right now wants all the 5 accused behind bars on the harshest punishment. And there is word going around that one of them could be a juvenile, but that's a different story. But what did she say to you, ma'am?
I met her. The first thing she said that she wants to join her job back as soon as possible. Secondly, she said that I want that all the culprits should be given strictest possible punishment. Number 3, she's a bit afraid because they have taken her photographs. So see to it that tell the police that protection is very important, and the maximum conviction, because this comes under gang rape. I explained her that this gang rape is not a general rape which comes under the category of 7 years. This comes under the category of 20 years under the new amendment acts. Then I asked I found her that very traumatic, but because of it was next day, she had composed herself very much, and I saw that she was quite confident, but she was from inside, she was very much shaken up with the incident. I could see that trauma, although she was trying to, see that she is composed. And definitely the most important thing, I said, what would you like to convey? Because women who are, which is also my experience, that unnecessarily women feel that something wrong, they have only done it. And this stigma and things are changing now. And people have also become very sensitive and giving support to the rape victims. So she said, definitely, she said, rape is not the end of the life. I'll fight it out, but only thing is that see to it that the culprits are arrested quickly and maximum punishment is given.
Nirmala, the reason why I asked you this, because you met this young girl, is because, like I said, there are a lot of people out there. There are a lot of people out there who will be hanging on to each of that word that you said. We have a band of these journalists, photojournalists out here who've come here only to listen to that and to express solidarity. You'd want to say something?
Yeah. I'm a photojournalist, okay, and my wife and my son, they live at home when I go to work. Being a photojournalist is one side of my life, it's one aspect, one side of the coin. I'm a father and I'm a husband. Mumbai to my wife was safe. It's still safe. But when she opened the newspapers yesterday, but she knows whenever I'm going out, I've covered riots in Godhra, I've been to Afghanistan, 2008 terror attacks, everything, blasts. She knows how to react because she's been drilled into it as you gain experience as an experienced thing. Yesterday she asked me one question like, I'll think twice before going out at night. And I work for a company which has given us something called a hostile environment training. Training not only tells you, you cannot fight a bullet. If it's, unfortunately you would agree, if it has got your name on it, you are gone. But there are ways in which you can sort of save or evade yourself. It's simple things. You should look out for telltale signs. You're going in a rickshaw at night. Try calling up someone if it's a short journey, or speak to someone and tell, I'm going through this route. That's what I've told my wife. Keep a pencil in your bag. Keep certain things which you can, and those, it's not a knife. Someone who wants to attack you sees a knife, he says that you are attacking. Right. It's your enemy. If you have a pencil or a pen or even your hairpin or something, that's what was taught to us in our hostile environment course. No, you can, and photojournalists, we have women colleagues who go at night. And
let her have a word there, yeah.
I've been on the field for 14 years now. Have been gone through all the, like the way he said, the riots, the bomb blast, the terror attack, everything. But like when this happened yesterday, even my family, they had that fear factor, the shame, because me and my husband, we both are photographers. We are always on field. So my family knows, what kind of a trauma they go through when we are on field. Now, when my husband is not around, he's traveling for some shoots. And when I'm in Bombay, he's like calling me 10 times and asking me, are you safe? Which assignment are you traveling? Right. But as he's he's my competitor, I can't share what story I'm doing with him. But yes,
I know what you're saying, and I'm going to quote a tweet of a very senior colleague journalist who's tweeted at this point of time, and you just got that. And she says, let this gang rape not tell you where to go, what to wear, what to drink. So
I totally,
we should keep it at that. But what's going wrong? What's going wrong? Is it the politics? Is it the policing? Is it the authorities? Or is it the fact that this city lives its life in two parallel universes? At one level, there is this metropolitan which is growing really fast, and then in the shadow of it, there is this another life which is looking on the sidelines, maybe with contempt. So what is it? What do you think it is, Prahlad?
There is a divide. Definitely, you have the slum dwellers on one side. You have the high-rises on one side, and slowly the slums have actually become larger than the legitimate tax-paying people of the city in terms of numbers. Okay, then the politicians are encouraging the slums because they find that they're a ready-made vote bank for them, because we don't have a caste system in the city. Unlike you go to Bihar, they vote on caste. Okay, in Bombay or Mumbai, they vote according to your economic strata. And if you are protected by a politician in a particular area, you could be the worst politician in the world, and you'd still get the vote from them.
But what has happened is that there is no fear of the law. Maybe because of the low level of conviction, the people feel you can get away with any crime and nothing will happen to you. So even what is shocking is, in spite of the strong rape laws which came, there has been an increase in rape.
So why don't we have migrants registered in the police station?
I
see, the police do that.
See, that is what the police says, you register, but it still does not solve your rape.
You have to prevent it very strictly.
You have to implement laws. You have to ensure that.
All right.
It is about enforcing.
Rita Gupta from the MNS wants to bring up the migrant issue.
Miss Rita, why the migrants are not put their names?
But madam,
here I agree, because this is what Raj Thackeray always shouts and speaks.
The Kerala
people coming from out. Your once friend now for Shiv Sena came and said migrants have committed this rape.
Yesterday, they have been born and brought up in Mumbai. They are not migrants. All the 5 people are
coming in Mumbai.
But this is where I differ. The people who have raped this girl, they are not migrants.
No.
They have been born and brought up here. So they are Mumbaikars like anyone else.
No. I agree.
As long as they are a part of our country.
That is there is no fear of law.
Let's conduct this.
Am I not free to travel within my country?
Yes.
So you can't.
Why do you
I'm not saying that. What she said,
This is
law and
which is
order.
broken down.
And when the people are coming from out, the system
Law and order is for everybody.
Yes, it is.
Okay, that young gentleman wants to say something.
I want to ask a question to Mr. Prahat Kakkar.
Yeah.
So, times have come when you can't even see a deodorant spray ad with your family. It's all explicit content on web.
Central. We're talking about Mumbai at this point of time. Because that's a problem across India. It's across
but
the
he's
world.
right if he says that so much of sex is being shown on the television, on the pornographic sites. So what matters? This is a problem.
That is not an excuse.
Always remember
That is
one
not
thing.
an excuse to go and rape
The
someone.
power of success or failure of anything explicit or non-explicit is in your hands. You stop buying because you don't like what they say, they will fail, they will collapse. There will be losses to the tunes of millions of rupees.
But,
so the power is not the law. The law is very, very narrow. You know,
it's banned.
No. What are you
That
going
is
to
not an excuse to rape someone.
No, this is not an excuse. Of course, this
But
is not an
the-
excuse. But if you ban it, it will
is
look
the enforcement of law. If they can make us pay VAT so strictly, they can make us change our number plates of cars in 3 days, black to white, white to black, have CNGs. They can definitely get this implemented very enforceably.
The fact is pornography.
The greatest power is in your hands as a public. You don't like what you're saying? Ban
Deviating
it.
from the subject.
We're deviating from the
Ban
subject.
the
fact
product.
or not, whether
He's
pornography
talking about
leads to rape,
enforcement is what I'd like to
pornography
talk
leads to
about.
sexual assault, well, the jury on that is out there. That's for another day to discuss. We're talking about Mumbai and why is it that Mumbai is today where it is? Why have we seen it slip down the ladder and people who've seen it flourish are today...
One more problem is the bursting population. You know, these are unemployed school dropouts having nothing to do. They are into drugs, they are into drinks. And if that area where they were doing, why did the police not monitor? Why there were not CCTV cameras? Why was the beat policing not done? And why no police inspector of that area has been suspended till now? So the message has gone that
what do you think has gone
I
wrong?
wanted to talk about enforcement. What she said, that harrowing experience she had, would have never happened earlier. Because we have a very strict discipline in the department. In the earlier days, if she had gone and told a deputy commissioner or a senior officer that I went to lodge a complaint and the inspector, Deshmukh, whoever it was, refused to take it, that man would have been hauled up. He would have been held, a department inquiry would have been held against him, and he would have been punished. Now what has happened is, most of the postings are not being done by police officers. If you realize that fiasco that was going on a few months back, where the Home Minister had taken over all the powers of the Director General of Police, the police officers, the junior police officers, are not scared of their seniors. They are not scared of their superiors. That entire rigid discipline has broken down. Today they know they can go to the MLA or they can go to the politician and get the postings and transfers done. So they're not bothered about what the senior thinks. Unless we restore the power back to the police force, under the supervision you can have an independent commission, but unless we restore the power to the police seniors to transfer and post their policemen according to their suitability, this kind of nonsense will continue.
Yes, sir.
Today they are dependent
That
on...
I think is a very valid point.
All right, so we've reached
Today-
a consensus on one point from this.
Outdated laws which are governing the police department, 1861. when we were with the Britishers. Now we are living in the independent, free country.
Right.
We got our freedom. But why the laws are not
So,
changed?
Right, ladies and
Why
gentlemen,
they
our
are
laws
not
are good.
given that
Our laws are good.
See, laws
It is
are good, but
implementation
enforcement,
is lacking.
and
yeah.
All right,
and
now
conviction of
rules
crime.
that are there in
Ladies and
it, so that
gentlemen,
this does not arise.
Madam, as you said, there is no fear of law.
No
That is
fear of
also
law.
correct. Again, when we go to the police station, we can easily say, we fear, as a common citizen, we are scared of going to them.
Right.
But we can see there are gundas who are sitting
just walk inside
very
the
freely
thana.
Already
in front of policemen, taking
Okay, what's the
chai
way
pani.
forward? What's the way
people
forward?
with the political influence
Right.
can go easily, lodge their complaints,
Right.
maybe right or wrong, but the common man,
What's the
he
way
is
forward?
always questioned
All
whenever
right, the last
he
5
go to
minutes,
police
last 5
station.
minutes of the discussion.
That
So
is
what
the problem, madam.
What is the way forward as a citizen, as a young girl who lives in this city? What's the way forward? What do you want to see?
So,
That Mumbai
Mr.
is-
Khan, I would like to add, I would like to take your take on this, that we have police reforms. Our so-called government, this government is saying that it is unconstitutional. I would want to know how is it unconstitutional and why are we not actually, because whatever you were stating is actually there in the police reforms. That has been passed by the Supreme Court. So why is our government calling it unconstitutional?
See, that is the biggest weapon. Having control over the police is the biggest weapon
Exactly.
that a home minister has. Who bothers? I told R.R. Patil after that 9/11 blast that, if you take away all your police and all your trappings of office and you walk along Marine Drive, no one would turn back and look at you. Because no one is bothered about you. You still want 40 policemen because it is power. It fuels your ego. So it's just for the sake of ego. If today you take away the police department from the home department and the politicians, who's going to bother about that politician? That's the power he has.
Right. All right, now last 5 minutes of this. No, we are running short of time. You're going to take final conclusions. What is the way forward? As a young girl who lives in this city, what do you want to see? When you get out, you want to take a cab at 12 a.m. You want to go out if you want to get a drink, you want to wear what you want to wear, and you want to come back not harassed. What do you want?
Absolutely. So I think, we've discussed enough external factors out here. What I also would like to see in the way forward is a focus on the internal factors, which is the fact that men just have this attitude towards women. And I think that is where the state can come in and really help out here, educating the masses, I mean, it's an attitude that needs to be tackled out here. And I think that is very important to keep in mind.
Also, I think very importantly...
You're talking about the masses. It's an amorphous, faceless mass. I say the state has power over its own policemen and recruitment. Start there. Start with the police because they are representative of the state. And if the women don't feel safe by going to a policeman and say, help me, somebody is harassing me, then you have failed as a state.
Exactly. Also, sir, I'd like to add that please make an example of these rapists who are now being caught.
Yes.
Because what's happened in Delhi is that these 5 rapists have gone almost scot-free. We don't care if he's a juvenile. We don't care if he was, mentally unstable. I don't care. He has committed a crime. He didn't ask the victim, oh wait, are you young? Do you have dreams? No, nothing. Why are you here? You're not supposed to be here.
I totally agree with you.
It's not fair.
Today,
yes.
Because of that Nirbhaya's case, now
we need to make an example. People are angry. People on Facebook, on Twitter. Please do not get into this armchair activism. Come out there and please be out there and
cut through the political cluster, cut through the armchair activism, make it happen, show us.
Yes,
ma'am, you agree with her?
Yes.
Mr. Khan, last comments.
You know what you require? What is the only thing that these people fear? And that is, to put it very crudely, Danda. You require a few more civilized dobles in the police force to be able to instill fear in the public.
Fear.
No, but one more
thing.
Law
is important.
God in the mind of, yes.
Conviction has to be 100% and very speedy. This fast track court doesn't mean 3 years, 2 years. It means in 30 days, 60 days, these people who have raped either they should be behind bars for full life, or they should be hanged.
And the last comment.
I think it should be stringent and extremely stringent enforcement of law, which will curb these things, because without that, the city is going nowhere. People have to be scared of the whole thing.
Peter Gupta.
Everybody said their own views. I would always say the people who have done this crime, they should be hanged in front of the public, in front of everyone, not closing their face and keeping them behind the bars. Everybody should know which family they belong, which family they are staying, and what are they doing.
Because that is the value.
You think you are what you are because of yourself?
Because
you are what you are because of the way you
want you to respect a girl.
Right. Okay, last
comment. They'll be taught from childhood that this is not what you have to do.
Point made, Ms. Gupta. Point made, point accepted.
So then they are failed at giving values to their kids. We've been taught not to steal.
Last comment, sir. Last comment.
Yes. Last comment is that because of the police force getting weakened in this city, it is changing the character of the city. All this population, all was always there. Bombay was the golden bird of this country. Everybody's dreams were to come to Mumbai and make a living. They still do. Now, we are burgeoning. The infrastructure is not kept up with the number of people that are here. The police force is inadequate. They're not trained well. Their morale is low. And the political class is interfering with every single thing that happens in the city for its worst.
The political class is beating up the cops. So the message goes, when the cops can be beaten up, how can they protect you?
Exactly.
All right. With that, we're going to end this broadcast right here from Mumbai. We've run short of time. Thank you all. We thank our illustrious panel for joining us. Our lovely guests who come here and talked about what is essential. It's active citizenship on your part as well. So with that, it's a wrap right here from Mumbai. I'd like to close with an old worn-out cliche that this has always been attached to the city of Mumbai, and that is the spirit of Mumbai. Whether it was the floods, whether it was 26/11, no matter how much the Mumbaikar loathed it, the spirit of the city always followed him. Today, I think we are at the threshold where whether the Mumbaikar likes it or not, but he just might end up losing the old adage, the indomitable spirit of Mumbai. With that, it's a wrap. Thank you for joining us.